Amen.
Come on.
Okay. Now it's a time in the service where we remember the cross.
Come on.
We remember Jesus.
Come on.
But my question is, who is your Jesus?
Woo!
Now, Satan doesn't mind if you believe in Jesus. He doesn't mind if you worship Jesus. He doesn't mind if you love Jesus. He doesn't mind if you walk with Jesus.
Whoa!
As long as it's the wrong Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I grew up with the wrong Jesus.
Wow. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
But the cross showed me the right Jesus.
That's right. Come on.
Now, I had a Catholic upbringing. I was very religious in my Catholic upbringing. To me, my Jesus was a very impersonal Jesus. He was an historical figure. He had a job to do. And his job was to go to the cross, and he did it. You know, okay, what's the big deal? He did what he came to do, okay?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm glad I wasn't struck down then. But then I studied the Bible. I became a disciple.
Come on,
I
bro.
became a true Christian.
Come on.
I became a true follower of
Come
Jesus.
Yeah.
And through that process, I learned who Jesus really was, and then I learned who I really was.
Wow.
And two events through that process changed my life, changed my whole perspective. In Mark 14,
Come on, bro.
This is great, bro.
starting in verse 32, it says, "They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, 'Sit here while I pray.' He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. 'My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death,' he said. 'Stay here and keep watch.' Going a little further, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him. The second event, recorded in Matthew 26.
Come on, bro.
Come on, Michael.
Okay. In Matthew 26, starting in verse 50, it says, Jesus replied, "Friend, do what you came for." Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached for a sword, drew it out, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him, "for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and at once he will put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels?" These two events radically changed my perception of Jesus. My reaction when I read that was, wait, what? Are you trying to tell me Jesus had a free will in all this?
Wow. Come on, bro.
Are you trying to tell me that before it even began, he could have said no in Mark 14?
Wow.
And even before it began, and during the whole process, he could have stopped it at any time. The Matthew 26. Are you trying to tell me that?
Come on.
You know? And then it's like, okay, you're telling me Jesus just wasn't a puppet on a string,
Yeah.
you know? And they're like, yeah. Well, that blew my mind. That revolutionized my whole thoughts and my whole feelings, my whole mind and my whole heart about who Jesus really was.
Come on.
Wow.
But then that begged the question, okay, all right, if he had free will, well, why did he do it then? You know? And then I had to face the reality of who I really was. As I continued looking at the Bible, I began to realize, okay, I'm not the great guy I thought I was, or I'm not the great guy that people said that I was. You know, I performed well, you know, my Catholic, you know, religious duties and things, you know, they said I was okay, you know. But Isaiah 59,
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
Preach, bro.
Isaiah 59,
Come on, bro.
I knew God loved me, but nevertheless, in verse 1, it says, "Surely the arm of the Lord is not too short to save, nor his ear too dull to hear." But, and this is how I sometimes personalize it, I says, but my iniquities have separated me from my God. My sins have hidden his face from me so that he will not hear me.
Come on.
So then I had to come to the realization that my sins needed to be forgiven. I was separated from God, you know? And then I understood that Jesus died for the whole world, okay? And then I was like, okay, yeah, he died for the whole world, but there's 5 billion people in this world, you know? I'm just a grain of sand on a beach, you know? And so it still wasn't really that personalized to me.
Come on, bro.
But this is how I personalized the cross for me. And that I really believed that he died for me, for Michael. I took an inventory of my life, you know, and I compared it to the Bible. I wrote it all on a piece of paper. And basically it was just a list of all my sins, you know. And then I visualized myself. I closed my eyes and I visualized. And I went to the cross. And it was just me and Jesus, and me kneeling at the foot of the cross. There weren't any, you know, criminals on either side of him. The women weren't there. John wasn't there. The crowd wasn't there. The Pharisees weren't there. It was just me and Jesus. And but there was a Roman soldier, and the Roman soldier was there, and I'll tell you why he was there. You see, the Romans didn't invent crucifixion; they just perfected it. And part of the practice of the crucifixion was to nail the charges of the condemned above their head. So then, as I knelt at the foot of the cross, with just me and Jesus, I handed my list to the Roman soldier. And then he took a ladder, climbed up to the top of the cross, removed what they charged him with, King of the Jews, and then he nailed my sin list there in the place. And then I was just kneeling there at the foot of the cross, looking at my sin list, and then looking at Jesus, and then looking at his eyes, and then realizing that he loved me that much. And then he stayed there when he could have got down at any time. He just stayed there until it was finished. But the good news is, come on, bro. The good news is, I don't want to leave you there. I don't want to leave you there. The good news is, once I became a disciple, on the day of my baptism,
Come on.
when I went under that water, and when I came on out,
Come on.
that I got a new piece of paper. A piece of paper that was written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Yeah, so God doesn't read that piece of paper anymore. He reads the new piece of paper. Yeah. But yes, but at this time, when I take the bread that represents his broken body, and as I drink the juice that represents his blood, I always go back to the Jesus I met in Gethsemane, the Jesus on that cross that died for me and died for you, and would have if you were the only person.
Yeah.
So.
Come on, bro.